funny business, I'll call it for now. It's not really funny business, it's hardcore crime, people. I mean, let's call it what it is. But I'll just be nice to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, who are the deep capture, and they run these organizations, the SEC and FINRA, from the back office. And people that are in the business, I invented crowdfunding in '98, raised $3 million on in a week, bought a broker-dealer, did a bunch of other deals, and was subject to those processes over the course of my career. So when I say this, that they're in the back office running the whole show. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They can do whatever the heck they want, and you can't do anything about it, too bad. And what they've been doing is they sell shares they don't own to people that pay for them and get fake shares in their account. So if you sell, in this case, in our case, billions of shares. If you sell 1 billion shares, let's just take an example. Let's say you sell 1 billion shares. Let's just keep it a lot simple. Let's say you sell 1 million shares of my stock short, naked. Naked means you're never going to buy them back. You don't intend to buy them back. You run the company out of business. The whole thing falls apart, and there's no shares to actually buy back. It's been stored and rolled in over and over and over in these fake accounts as a long sale. Then it's called a long sale, and sold from one market player to another. If you look at my press release on June 13th, 2018, I implicate all the main, usual suspects, but the two that I talk about are Knight and Citadel. And they had the largest share. And of course, in GameStop, the first thing that happened is they stopped not trading, they stopped buying, so it couldn't be run higher. And Knight and Citadel rounded up $2.7 billion to bail out their guy, and that's what at least helped them to not get really creamed. Now, the thing is that they'll never catch up to our deal, because if they've shorted $8 billion in a single year that year, and we only have 6.5, and we have a total of 18 billion, and a little more recently they sold another 3 billion shares they don't own. Their own compliance lawyer told me on the phone that they have a category in their filings called shares sold but not purchased. Look it up. Okay, that's called counterfeiting shares. They're admitting to a crime. But good luck getting a judge. They own the judges, so good luck getting a judge to out them. And that's not really helpful anyway. Here's what's helpful. We're looking at scenarios where they would buy back a certain portion, but not all. We'd be willing to contractually forgive the balance, and I could actually set that up through a proxy. I have the supermajority ownership owing to what's called the poison pill, 66.67%, that I'm never going to trade. So I could, say that we as a group of shareholders, in lieu of a special meeting, are rubber stamping the forgiveness of 10 billion or 15 billion shares that they can never literally buy back, and they'll have to go out of business to do it. I actually put them out temporarily in 2005, but they came back like the bubonic plague. So here we are again, and now they've done it to hundreds of thousands of other companies that are just long gone. But there's still 406 good companies. And I'm now getting calls on my class action notice. I've got 14 firms setting up 10 class actions for 37 million middle-class Americans who've had all their equity stolen. So that's one option over here. We might go that route while we're assembling that. I urge, FINRA, and I'm talking to those folks, the ombudsman and the offices I suggested 20 years ago are now there. So I'm now talking to these advocates, and they're saying, hey, we'll listen to these proposals. So the proposals are actually pretty simple. Imagine that we agree that they only have to cover 3 billion shorts. Well, why would we want to do that? Well, because it's going to run the stock like crazy. We're going to get the stolen value back. It's actually 4.3 cents a share. Okay, so we get that value back, and it's contractually agreed to. Then we say your 3,421 market participants at the Depository Trust Company are also agreeing to never short sell our company stock ever again for the life of our company. So you're getting something of great value, and frankly, if you don't structure a deal of some kind, they're just going to do what they did before, and they're either going to go out of business or we're going to get hurt more, and shareholders are going to struggle more, and their investments are going to probably do well, but they're going to do a lot less well than they would do otherwise. So in short, we have a lot of ways to come at it, and you're going to be hearing from a lot of people talking about it. Here's what I'm going to promise you that I'm going to be doing, okay? And I think this is the meaningful part. Why do you care, really? Oh, I know why I care, but why should you care is this, okay? If you're a stockholder of ours, and we welcome you, and we really appreciate that. We really appreciate that faith that you're talking about by being a shareholder, that statement that you made. But don't be the fool either. If you can have a chance to make money on it, make the money, sell the stock, make the money. If you want to sell some and hold it because you think in the future is going to be good, I'd say that's a good bet. I would always bet on me because I'm involved in it, and that's just the way I am. So you get to decide I'm a righteous dude who's going to make you money like a lot of people have, or I'm delusional. So you just make that decision. It's an easy one. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to be building a big business. So we grew from 3,000 shareholders to 24,000 shareholders since the first of the year. And in the next month to 3 months, I have a goal to grow to 7 million to 10 million shareholders. Now, in order to even grow from here to more shareholders, it counts on you. It counts on you. So here's the pitch. Here's my pitch to you. Here's why you should do something, okay? If I am just brokering for my company, and somebody said the word pump and dump, and I said, like, don't ever say that in my presence. Like, if you say this is a pump and dump, or you say any little company is a pump and dump, then I'm gonna pump your head full of my fist, and then I'm gonna dump you over that cliff, okay? Because what is a pump and dump? Let me tell you what it is. It's engineered by Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. It's a way to make you look bad. Why would you want your stock to go way up and then come crashing down? Why would you want to promote it so you can sell a few shares or have people see it go way up so it can come way down a minute later on BS or on no news at all, as they're killing the stocks on no news with fake paid bashers? Why would you want to do that? If you're a little company, you're desperately trying to hold any value you can so your company has value. That's why you're in the public capital markets, so you can attract capital. You have no interest in those wild swings at all. That's the kiss of death. And you know that. So the pump and dump is not a product at all. This needs to be said. It's not a product of the little guy. It's not a product of a stock promoter. It's the product of a criminal at a major brokerage firm that runs the back office system and is trying to kill your company. And it's pretty easy to make you look bad doing that, right? They go and they buy your stock like crazy. The next day they flush it down the toilet. Oh, is it pump and dump? There's 372 identified people on my list of mafia-employed paid bashers. They make $65,000 a year. Unless they're really good, they can make 80 or 90. And all they do is sit on the chat boards and lie. Now, you won't see much of that on ours anymore because we identify them as such, and then we talk about what matters, and we're starting to get like really positive discussion about what people care about the business. No, I don't. I'm not on the chat board. I don't know what they say about me, and I don't care. And frankly, as I've said to people hundreds of times over the course of my 40 years, if you heard I was on a chat board acting or responding to a chat board, then you would do well, if you cared about the company, to call me and say, listen, dude, like respectfully, I call for you to call for your own resignation because you're not focused anymore. You're not chat board. Like, what does that have to do with this company? Nothing. Right? A couple clowns employed by the mafia are wasting people's time just lying about stuff, and they know they're lying. What's their other motivation? The goodwill of telling you the bad things you should know. Every single thing that's happening about a company, a little company, is always all bad. That's what you're supposed to believe. So if you're that freaking stupid, then you don't belong in the capital markets at all. But I could say maybe just emotional. You're just watching it all day. And you're like, oh, he's saying this, he's hurting my feelings. Like, this isn't a game for the faint of heart. This is a game for real people. Stand up tall, erect spine, and fight. Okay, so I think it can go up a lot very quickly, very soon, because we're going to have so many announcements. And in the course of my history, when my stocks have done well, it's when I've performed. And when I performed over and over and over, and you see that stream of performance, and then you see a lot of people getting excited. Okay, that's what's happening right now, and you're going to see more of that. So what I've told you is I'm going to work to the end to make this thing a success on every level. And I believe we've already shown that because we traded over $200 million of liquidity in less than 3 months. That's a remarkable achievement all by itself for a little company. While 30% of it was guaranteed to be naked short sellers, Wall Street criminals trying to pound the stock out of existence, we went up 8,500%. Being the most pounded, but still went up 8,500%. So that's about the best spread of a little company today. Now, I'm not, patting myself on the back, and you won't see that. I don't buy into my own press. I believe if you do, then you're already on the way down. You just haven't figured it out yet. So what I do believe, though, is profound. And that is that we're going to execute our business plan with our technology. We have the best technology solution in the field. We have a need that has to be pressed 50 ways from Sunday. That Hendemoto, which you're going to hear a lot more about, he just won a nomination for 100 best independent automakers in the world. Something like that. He's going to Las Vegas in June to accept either his award or his nomination of his award. I'm not sure which. this is big news that he got that. He's a newcomer and he got that nomination. And it's being written up and talked about a lot. But he also has this amazing technology. He's got a radio frequency adaptation that will run the car forever. That in itself, I mean, imagine a car that needs almost no fuel ever and just runs forever. That's what he's got, okay? He's also got a software designer that developed an amazing algorithm. I know how amazing it is because in the early 2000s, I helped transfer technology, LiDAR. You hear a lot about it. That's laser radar, laser guided radar into drones, into the Department of Defense and drones, which is now quite popular. And I got it from the Department of Energy in Brookhaven and helped transfer it into the armed forces sector, the military or the weapons sector, if you will. And in doing that, that has become, LiDAR is the benchmark standard for the Teslas and the Google vehicles that are supposedly driving themselves around. This technology is a new algorithm. It doesn't require LiDAR. It'll see just a dot on the ground and it'll react and it'll drive itself all day long. So it's a huge breakthrough of epic proportions. This guy's got more technology than everybody. He's getting recognition and we're at the forefront of helping him, partnering with him, giving him the audio solution. And he's not just gonna put it in as a stereo, but we have ideas for removable stereos and we have ideas for other things that do audio with vehicles. There's a whole bunch of things. I won't get into them now because a lot of them are proprietary, you're gonna hear about them. And then our audio biometric security. So right, when you got your mobile device and you're in your car, everything is talking now. You start hearing voices and so forth. What if you could use that as your security? Your voice would tap into the security. It would tap into security to open and close your car. It would tap into security to monitor your quality of your car or the things that are working with your car that may be needing something. And so it'll keep your car up to date. It will give you security. If there's an accident, it will give notification. You'll be able to talk, you'll be able to have interactions, and it'll be secured. It'll be beyond encryption. So we have these great technologies that all of a sudden are incredibly relevant and are at the forefront of what I believe is the most popular area. You'll remember that Elon Musk, this is kind of the running joke in closing this whole dialogue out. I heard recently that he wasn't too long ago, he was out of money and he was being prosecuted by the SEC for some baloney and he was mocking them. And I think they fined him $1 million or something, then he had a party. And, just all these, goofy things that were going on. And then they said he was gonna be dismissed from the board because he was giving out false information about his stock. I mean, there was a lot of powers that be that obviously wanted him gone from his own stuff. And he survived it all. And now all you hear is the richest guy with the best stock, growing the fastest, making the most money. And that's the industry we just entered. And it's only one of many industries, and we are profoundly going to be the player in that industry. Nobody's going to have what we have. They would need light years to catch up to it now. So I'm ecstatic. I can't be more ecstatic because this is showtime for me. I get to sell the stuff, the stuff the product is made of. And we have video algorithms and other things that big companies have stolen. And we have a lot of really cool stuff, needless to say. And we're gonna be racking up deals left and right. So we're gonna go from nobody ever heard of it to everybody heard of it. We're gonna go from nobody cared to that's all everybody cares about. And it's gonna happen pretty fast. So now that's my give. Now here's my ask, all right? I ask that you only get in there and profit from it. Profit yourself from it and help the other people in your life profit from it. That's how we're gonna make this viral. When I say viral, I'm not talking about, some little trickle effect. I mean, I want millions and millions and millions of people looking at this by next week. Now, how's that gonna happen? It's gonna happen when you tell this story. Have you heard of little MAXD, the little engine that could, but now is doing it, has. No, I haven't heard of it. Well, look it up. 8,500% since the first of the year. It's got some spark to it. They're starting to make some deals. Somebody said, well, I looked in your filing and I didn't see the assets. That's right, because that was the year end of last year. These are subsequent events. You'll see these in the first quarter. Everything we've reported in 8K, and even not in 8K, we don't have to report every single contract in 8K, because after the first one, they're all the same as the first one. So until they become something way different, they're not an extremely different benefit to the company. But we've already reported enough that you can see there's money in, and there's plenty of money coming in, and there's plenty of more. I mean, I'm getting an offer a day to do funding. And I probably won't do because we don't really need any money either. So, we have virtually no overhead and we sell software. It's like the most perfect business in the world. It's a hallelujah in a giant Friggin' amen. So, enjoy the ride. Okay, I'm asking you to tell everybody you know this story about little MAXD and say, go look at MAXD.audio. Go look at MAXD to the moon. They're going to execute a rule soon that's going to force Wall Street to buy back in. And we're going to be at the forefront with our innovation as to how they buy back in our stuff. And we want to be one of the first out of the gate. And since we were the hardest hit and still grew the fastest and biggest of those being hammered, I think that says something, okay? And it says something about, how I fight a long battle, a long game. Because you're not going to beat me in a long game that requires a battle of attrition. I'm just going to basically go on forever. I could ruin it if I got my own way, but I would never do that because I enjoy it too much. I'm having too much fun working all the time. Really, I really enjoy this. I mean, if I look a little hysterical, it's because I am. Most of the people in my life think I'm freaking hysterical. Stick around. You'll learn your lesson. Okay. Have you learned your lesson yet? All right. So that's that. Okay. And really, all you have to tell your friends and family, look. Check it out. Just check this out. I mean, I have friends who were telling me, like, I was telling my kid a year ago he should have bought this. And then he bought it. And how much did he spend? Oh, he spent a couple $100. Well, how much does he have in his account now? Like 20 grand? What? Huh? I mean, that's his kid, right? Or their kid's kid, or their nephew, or the neighbor. I mean, you should literally be telling everybody this story. And this is the story you should tell them. Like, you want to share in some prosperity? You want to share in the wealth in this country? You want to get an opportunity of real American dreaming, of the great American dream, of what this country's all about, what it's really supposed to represent, the freedom to pursue that dream, the freedom to create something great and to share in the profit. And if we don't create it ourselves, to participate in someone else that created by helping them or supporting them. I mean, it's all a big family of people that have been responsible for the growth of this country forever. These big techs, they've been responsible for nothing except stealing and treating people like garbage and pitting them against each other. And we're building a third option. Remember, I said that it's a whole new ecosystem. So that's all you need to know. It's not Google, it's not Apple, it's not the TV networks, it's not CNN, it's not all that junk. It's a new TV network, it's a new news agency, it's a new satellite, it's a new server farm, it's a new operating system that's actually an existing operating system. None of these things can get into the mainstream because they've been shut out from the antitrust monopoly that I've been separately fighting. But I don't need to fight it anymore because those clowns have already done what they're going to do. What I'm doing is bringing the third option. The third option has its own computer, its own mobile operating system, its own mobile device, its own computers, its own system that is not Windows, is not Google, and is not Apple. And when you use it, you get the three promises. The whole system will have its own social media, it'll have its own email servers, it won't have NSA spies, and it won't be tied to a bunch of people culling your data and trying to brainwash you with phony algorithms, which I've identified repeatedly ad nauseum. What it'll do is it'll make you three promises, the three that everybody's interested in right now. Anybody can join no matter what. You can't be censored or silenced when you're on it, and you can't be canceled or removed ever. Now you might say, well, like, what if you get some really bad people in there? Well, that's what the rules are for in the system, right? If you're in a social media platform where some clowns are telling you what the rules are going to be, that's one story. That's the one we have. Communism it's called. And which is really just an advanced prelude to mass genocide, okay? But if you want to do really cool stuff, you just basically tell people, look, the golden rule, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. Duh. I mean, does that mean we're smart? No, it means we're logical. It means we have a little common sense. So that's what it does. It says, you treat the people the way you want to be treated. Okay. So there's that etiquette set of rules, and it's just ever present in the networks and throughout the whole platform. And how does it operate? Well, I guess if you're a jerk off and you act badly, then everybody's going to block you, and you'll have nobody to talk to except your device. Good luck. Okay, but if you're a good person, you might, who knows, the following week become the most popular person in the history of the universe. So that's up to you, but that shouldn't be something that's regulated or overseen. And the second thing is when people get in there and they see that freedom, those clowns are gonna lose their business, okay? Because you can't leave them, you can't say, like, don't listen to that news, it's bad news, because it's gonna hit you everywhere you go. It's been programmed into all this garbage. But if it is not in your ecosystem, if you have a complete set of operations that you do every day to live and function and interact in communication the way you've been doing it, but you have none of those things, you're never going to go back to the other thing. You're going to be free and be like a bird flying away. So once you do that, you're going to be very happy. Now we have most of the armed forces. We have 28 million veterans ready to go. We have million active men and women, servicemen and women. We have special forces, we have National Guard millions, we have 8 million in law enforcement, and then we have their friends and family, which takes us up to about 152 million in about 6 months. So we expect to launch live in about 3 months. So if you're interested in that, or you're interested in funding that, I'm putting together enormous funds now to finish building all that. But it's going to be easy to do because most of it's already built. I'm just aggregating it, so there'll be people that'll be building all kinds of new business within that business. But they're going to leave behind Google and Apple. You don't have to fight over how they do advertising anymore, or steal people's stuff, because it won't be of any value because they won't be talking to anybody. Everybody will just leave and we'll all be, holding celebrations. Okay, so I'm saying to you, everybody you know, gather them up, round them up, tell these stories, show these videos, have them go on and email and text and do everything, and let everybody know what we're doing here, and participate and take part of it for yourself. You're entitled to that abundance, that prosperity, and don't let anybody tell you you're not. And we have many more gifts that have been said are gifts to humanity for others. And then lastly, you just tell the people, look, I've done you a favor now. I've told you something really cool about this, right? And you might make a lot of money, and then you'll kind of owe me one, right? Okay. And so if you do that, then we'll all be happy. But if you don't do anything because you're not going to be in the game, and you leave that money on the table for someone else that we don't even know who that is, then don't come crying to me as you're looking in your rearview mirror and driving off a cliff later about a year from now. So just, you get the idea. It's like, we and all the people that know us and what we're doing are very confident in this project and very excited about the opportunity. And that's also very contagious and very catchy. So that's what I want you to think about. And I want you to get involved in the whole messaging, get involved in the social, study the company, tell your friends and family what we've got and why it's good. And I can assure you, this is my last hurrah. I expect this to be something really fantastic in terms of the output, the amount of wealth that it creates. It can create literally trillions of dollars of wealth in no time at all. We have so many other assets we can bring, and we have so many good things we can do to stop bad people from doing bad things. So I say, join us on the journey. Tell everybody do it right away. Just roll it right out. If you don't have any shares, buy a few shares, because if you have no ownership, you're not in the game. You can't play if you're not in the game, all right? And that's my suggestion, and I'm sticking to it. So thanks for tuning in. Greg Halpern here for, all of what's great in America. I mean, we've been on for the dream, but right now this is MAXD. That's what I want you to focus on. MAXD, you're dreaming of MAXD. And it's very mysterious, MAXD. It's very powerful, and it's very good and very exciting, and you're going to love it. So go ahead and listen to the demos and reach out to us and touch someone and all those other funny cliches and slogans. Have an amazing day, an amazing week, an amazing life, and please join us on the journey. We're going to have a lot of fun making a lot of money, being successful, and joining this country together with people that care about great American things, American values, American dreams. Thank you. God bless everybody, and God bless the United States of America.